All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Michael and Thunder, spawning as I believe, but Michael is actually the red undead here, meaning Thunder is going to be the red human. They are going up against Guagua and Alice. Alice is spawning as the blue night elf, and finally Guagua spawning as the blue orc. For all intents, for ease of my casting and my sanity, I will not be referencing their individual names any longer. Just red team, blue team, and their race. If you guys need to figure out who's who again, well, definitely just go back to that introduction right there. Thunder is going to be, Thunder is down over here. Michael is off over here. Guagua is here. And Alice is here. So there's a quick wrap up for you once again. As we are getting underway, this is a 2v2 matchup, if you guys could not tell already. No, it doesn't tell me what event this was, but hopefully this will be a very entertaining game taking place here on Lost Temple LV. Well, I don't know what the LV stands for. Maybe it's the version that has, Oh, it does not have, no, the mercenary or the tavern is right off over here. So it pretty much looks like the same Lost Temple back in Reign of Chaos, except for there is a tavern here as you can remember, there were no taverns back in the day. You had 3 hero choices and that was it. And you could go for all 3 heroes if you wanted to. All right, Peasant now just running around just a little bit. You can see a little bit of those footprints being left behind right there. They are trailing off away, but it allows you to perhaps try and chase away units. You know what would be interesting if invisible units actually left footprints, right? I mean, like if you're an archmage riding a horse, right? And you leave footprints behind in the mud, just because you become invisible doesn't mean that, you no longer have footprints. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, Dreadlord now making his way out, already going for a Rod of Necromancy, Dust of Appearance, and has that Scroll of Town Portal. He did not sell it. We are going to be looking at a quick sleep around those units there, and now going straight after that Forest Troll, a Shadow Priest, and then perhaps that Forest Troll Berserker first. The Forest Troll Berserker does end up dealing a large amount of piercing damage, and now we're going to look at that Forest Troll Berserker there getting surrounded quickly. All right, Rod of Necromancy charges, one already used again, as we should be looking at an expansion here in just a moment. Acolyte hanging back, wanting to make sure it didn't end up taking too much damage, as we should be, perhaps trying to summon up a Ziggurat, or no, a Haunted Goldmine. No Ziggurat as of yet. This was an expansion attempt by the Dreadlord without the Blight. All right, that is interesting indeed. We are already getting up a necropolis here, and that is to, be able to train up some acolytes, also be able to Scroll of Town Portal into that location. Meanwhile, the Archmage already running around trying to see if an expansion attempt is currently underway. This Ancient of War could end up taking a large amount of damage since it is currently unrooted. Archmage is going to be dropping up that Water Mental right there, and Ancient of War taking a little bit of damage. Nope, not taking any damage. Ancient of War pretty much rooted into place. That expansion attempt was cancelled. Back in the center portion of the map, Keeper of the Grove and that Tauren Chieftain wandering around in the center. What is that Keeper of the Grove going to do? Is it going to try and entangle a footman? I do believe so. There it is. There's that entangle that, so many players love to hate. And essentially, early targets are easily just taken down right there. There it goes. Keeper of the Grove says, thank you for the experience, and now going to move on to another footman if he can find one. All right, Keeper of the Grove heading off into the center portion of the map right now. Tauren Chieftain right there. Ghouls are there as well, trying to get in some heals. Tauren Chieftain does have Endurance Aura and Stomp, most likely. There's that Scroll of Speed. The Keeper of the Grove going to run around the corner, but a quick sleep right there onto the Keeper of the Grove, preventing an entangle. All right, one entangle goes down onto the Ghoul. The Stomp actually wakes up the Ogre Mauler, but apparently, now attacking all of those Orc units again. Tauren Chieftain trying to close in on the gaps. That Speed Scroll not working out as well as they would have hoped, as the Tauren Chieftain and, the Keeper of the Grove look to perhaps clear out this center portion. We are going into Carry On Swarm, as we are getting up a Necropolis. Necropolis already up, now going into a Haunted Goldmine. as the Tauren Chieftain looks to clear out the Forest Troll Shadow Priest creep camp here. All right, Dreadlord is nearby. Is he going to try and sleep this? That's going to be... Oh, yep, there is that sleep right there. We're going to get some damage. Who's going to pick up the item? Tauren Chieftain gets the item, and are we going to get a surround? No, Tauren Chieftain gets surrounded finally. One Grunt is trying to cause a good block. There's that stomp right there as the Dreadlord gets, well, reverse surrounded as the Dreadlord now needs to make his way back out. Ring of Protection extremely helpful in keeping that Dreadlord alive right now. Meanwhile, the Tauren Chieftain just still wandering around in the back trying to figure out how to dive and dodge away from all of this damage. Meanwhile, back to the south here, there are just multiple attacks happening all across the map, and we're looking at a low hit point ghoul trying to get away. Back down to the south here, water elementals causing disruption and making it so that the Moonwolves cannot train up any extra units. Dreadlord trying to go ahead and stay next to this Fountain of Health. However, the Tauren Chieftain may have something to say about it. There is a sleep. Is the stomp actually large enough? Tauren Chieftain does not have... Oh, does it have the effect of the healing? Of the healing? I do not believe so. Scroll of Town Portal now being used as we see some aggravating, well, fights happening in the center portion of the map. Archmage Thunder shows up to the party to help clear out the remainder of this creep camp. Scroll of Town Portal was used. Huntress is now going to try and head off to the center portion of the map here as the Footmen, could have perhaps tried to disrupt some of that healing that was going down there, and the Footmen now shifting off here to that 9 o'clock location. All right, basically this game is looking like two 1v1 games happening at the same time until Red is now clearing out the center creep camp with his partner. All right, Dreadlord does not get the experience as the Huntresses got the final shot off there. Keeper of the Grove gets an entangle off onto a fleeing ghoul as that gets taken down. Tauren Chieftain ready to clear up the remainder of that creep camp and heal up again. Archmage gets entangled. Footman trying to stay nearby, making it difficult for a possible surround as the Dreadlord shows up to the party. Archmage, where is it going to go? It is going to get surrounded again. Entangle right there. Archmage now in serious trouble. Archmage, what is it going to try and do? Archmage does have a Scroll of Town Portal. Just going to stay nearby here. A little bit of engaging. The Scroll of Regeneration will be used as it teleports back. There you go, and that Clarity Potion. We are already at Keep. We are sitting at 36 supply right now, going into dual Arcane Sanctums. Dual Arcane Sanctum. It looks like there's a peasant that should be trying to speed build, but isn't. A pair of footmen off on the far side, keeping track and spots that the Orc army does have an expansion up and running. Meanwhile, footmen unable to get into the temple area of Lost Temple as there are already, well, Null Brutes and Null Poachers in here. What is going to be going down? Grunts finishing off those remaining units here. Archmage and Dreadlord. Dreadlord leading an army of ghouls. However, the army of ghouls just doesn't seem to be moving that fast without Unholy Aura. Footman now looking to finish off this Orc Burrow right there. Orc Burrow down to 400 hit points. It is dropping slowly as the Dreadlord going to show up and now will try and finish this Orc Burrow off as quickly as possible. Repairs are already underway. So much damage coming in as the ghouls are now just flat out attacking those peons as well. Scroll of Town Portal going to be coming in as well. Dreadlord gets up to level 3. Carry-on Swarm could be right there, and there you go. There's a stomp hitting some of those units there as the Dreadlord now may be forced to try and escape back out. Going straight after that Raider. Raider quickly gets taken down after a Carry-on Swarm and a sleep onto the Tauren Chieftain as Footmen just seem to be sacrificed left and right in this matchup just to do a little bit of scouting. This cannot be the long-term strategy for Thunder. Thunder should be transitioning away, and it now looks like it is going to be going into casters. I don't see a blacksmith, so no rifleman as of yet, as the Archmage still sits at level 2, and Thunder is just in trouble. He is still only sitting at 34 supply compared to, a 49 supply by his partner. 37 and a 40. But you got to remember, both the Night Elf and the Orc also have expansions up. So they've invested into, infrastructure as opposed to just a flat-out army, as opposed to Thunder, who is sitting on only one base. Sitting on only one base and having the smallest army, that is not a good idea at all, as the Ogre Lord now looking to back up there. A little bit of extra damage going across all of those units. All right, Dreadlord coming in, and this is, pretty much if at first you don't succeed, try again. But spiked barricades. Oh, those ghouls gonna have a very horrible time trying to finish off all of these units here. Orc burrow units are inside right here, and you're gonna see damage being absorbed here. Peons are attempting to repair. There's a scroll of town portal coming across. Carrion swarm trying to whip through many of those peons, as well as huntresses show up to the party. All right, quick sleep right there. Ghoul is now gonna turn back around. No vampiric aura for the Dreadlord. That would actually help out tremendously, as many of those ghouls have taken a fair bit of damage and now teleporting back out. Coming through again, we are looking at, well, a fast expansion attempt coming in from Thunder, and, well, human player being a human player, setting up towers and this expansion here, and it will be up and operational in just a matter of moments. In the bottom left corner of the map, Tauren Chieftain has a Book of the Dead and gonna get very close to level 5 here. And oh, that just sounds like an absolute nightmare. Are we going to get are we getting a lightning shield? No, we're not. Tauren Chieftain not getting lightning shield, but he does have a pendant of energy on top. All right, pendant of energy with on a soon to be level 5 Tauren Chieftain going up an undead army with mass ghouls. I think there are going to be a lot of dead ghouls here in just a moment, as well, damage now coming back across. All right, Orb of Corruption already available here. We're going to see Scroll of Town Portal now coming down. Are we going to see it ensnare? There goes the ensnare. Tauren Chieftain gets slept. And are we going to see a Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away? Yes, we are. So many ghouls could get taken down. There goes one ghoul there. Tauren Chieftain still shy of level 5. Coming back through Archmage, fighting from this corner. There's an ensnare from the Forest Troll Trapper, as the Ents are there to now take down that Zeppelin. Flame Strike also being brought over. Level 2, level 1. Goblin Zeppelin really wants to pick up some units and get out of there, as the Huntresses are unable to do very much. Goblin Shredder also picked up here, and it looks like it's going to be a drop inside the main base. Well, as the Zeppelin flies, so to speak, and in comes the army ready to cause a bit of disruption and problems. Archmage now back down. Hood of Cunning. Archmage now going after this Tree of Ages. Huntress is trying to drop off inside, as well as the Alchemist now going to join in too. One level 1 water elemental not going to be enough to hold the door here, as we're looking at the archers and more units continuing to do that push. All right, continuing to fight their way through. Goblin Zeppelin may try and pick up that Goblin Shredder. Yes, it does do exactly that. Archmage is there as well, trying to get some damage. Are we going to see some? No, the Huntress goes ahead and Shadow Meld, and now perhaps that Blood Mage wishes that he did not use that Flame Strike there. Going after the Huntress would have been the better call again. Meanwhile, the Goblin Zeppelin going to stay off to the side. I would have thought the Goblin Zeppelin may have been able to pick up those 2 units and escape, not having to use there. All right, Tauren Chieftain. Oh, Carrion Swarm, but as the one Raider is backed away again. All right. Good day, Flynn. Glad you could make it. Thank you for watching. So far, 2v2 matchups. I don't know what tournament this is from. It wasn't labeled, but I know there are a whole bunch of observers, so this isn't some random 2v2 game. Something's got to be on the line here. We're looking at 1-1 upgrades coming in from the undead. Unfortunately, the overlay not quite available. Oh, a quick reveal right there. Archmage dropping some water elementals, and the Blood Mage perhaps needing to siphon mana, but unable to do so since it's only still setting at level 1. Archmage really wants to get to level 3 at this stage. Thunder sitting with a level 2 Archmage after 13 minutes. Thank you. Wow, tuning out of Yumiko to catch me. That is absolutely, absolutely a blessing right there. A Ring of Regeneration now picked up. Archmage now has Brilliance or a level 1 Water Elemental. Level 2. Are we going to see the Forest Shadow Priest get dropped down, siphon mana into the Archmage in order to get another Water Elemental out onto the field? Troll Bat Rider completely suicides himself onto that Goblin Zeppelin there, but there was nothing inside. Meanwhile, the peasants should be trying to set up an expansion. However, oh, does the Archmage have a Scroll of Town Portal? It does. I was going to say, getting caught off in this corner of the map is often very bad news. Archmage drops a water elemental right there. Huntress is now trying to make their way through and perhaps just try and shut down the expansion. Peasants are showing up as well, as the Rock Golem joining in on the fight, adding in a little bit of extra damage to, well, the human army, since only the orcs and all of these guys are trying to fight. Well, they're just fighting everyone here, left and right. Peasants are off to the side. Water elemental is going to try and finish off some units. Are we going to get some siphon mana? One low hit point. Huntress Huntress is going to be able to escape here. The Rock Golem continuing to fight. That Huntress down to 10 hit points, and natural regeneration for the win there. All right, Rock Golem continuing that battle. Blood Mage should really be trying to siphon mana away from any target that it can, but the Rock Golem is magic immune. Back down across over here. Well, Tree of Life taken out. Squirrel Town Portal now going to go ahead and teleport away again. And the battles are just raging out all across the map. Night Elf going to try and clear up this, unable to do so. I thought there was an expansion here, and it must have been cleared out by the undead army. Need to keep track of the mini-map a little bit more. My apologies. A lot going on in a 2v2 map, and that's why there's official observers on top of casters at any given event. I remember the goblin laughed in the face of danger yesterday. Now he dead. Yep. All right, coming back around. It really looks like that Dreadlord is just going back and forth, sitting at almost level 5. And meanwhile, the Tauren Chieftain has double Scrolls of Town Portal, and I guess he's realizing that the strategy and the tactics of that undead, they're just trying to constantly push themselves all across the place. Meanwhile, the Dreadlord, well, there is a shockwave going through. All right, coming back again. I actually need to pause this for a second. Hello? Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Bye. All right. Well, needed to take that call. I was surprised that I got a delivery call at 7 in the morning. Anyways, going to go ahead and try to get a surround right there. Dreadlord doesn't have any mana. Tauren Chieftain is asleep in the back as we're seeing some damage being brought on through. Now Cyclone being used. A Wand of Wind picked up from the Archmage, and that's going to be able to juggle that Tauren Chieftain for quite a bit of time. Tauren Chieftain now trying to double back around. Shockwave going through. There goes a Troll Bat Rider as the Archmage now going to go ahead and Scroll of Town Portal to try and save its own base here. All right, Goblin Zeppelin picking up. Are we going to see damage right there onto that? Well, Goblin Zeppelin, Staff of Preservation in order to be saved. More damage going through. Alchemist, however, not in danger of falling as we're looking at all the units looking to back up again. All right, watchtowers are being built as protective measures. Meanwhile, a new Tree of Life trying to be built here and here in order to, heal back up. Goblin Zeppelin, is it going to actually get taken down? This is extremely, extremely bad news. The Goblin Zeppelin has negative armor right now, and if it actually gets taken out, there was, wow, a beautiful detonation used to detonate and remove the slow on that Goblin Zeppelin right there, as the Dreadlord could have easily finished it off. Tree of Life will get taken out once more. Meanwhile, while expansion after expansion is getting destroyed, everyone just doing guerrilla tactics, but leaving their own base open for quite a bit of time. All right, Grunts now making their way back up. Archmage, Spellbreaker, Sorceress is going to try to dive on in here. We're going to see a Scroll of Town Portal. Tauren Chieftain does have double Scroll of Town Portal. Where is he going to try and go next? There it goes. Sees that, you know what, the other army has shown up, and units are going to try and, well, teleport back out once more. Units teleporting back home. We are looking at 2 bases for the Orc, 0 operating bases for the Night Elf. I believe 3 operating bases for the human, and, well, 1 operating base for the undead. I believe every gold mine in the main portion of the map, save for the 2 corners with the flying units. I believe they're flying units. Is it? Or is it? No. 2 Red Drakes and a Granite Golem have all been cleared up. All right, Raiders trying to make their way through. Could easily get taken down. There it goes. Meanwhile, back across here, Abominations going to easily finish that Raider off there, giving that Dreadlord now level 5. Dreadlord now sitting at level 5. Level 3 Carrion Swarm can easily rip through a lot of units if they are grouped together. And, well, Carrion Swarm is very powerful indeed. Tree of Life trying to, well, establish up an expansion off over here, but the Abominations and Ghouls will shut that down very easily. Guard towers are all in position. Damage going to be added in. Level 1 Masonry upgrades, but not enough to handle the current size of the army, even as the peasants are working to try and repair. Arcane Tower right there. Archmage shows up to the party, as well as we're looking at the Alchemist trying to, well, dive away from all of this. Meanwhile, there is an attack on the expansion as well. Shockwave speeding through many of those guard towers back across here. We may see another shockwave to try to finish off these remaining guard towers, and there you are, finishing off many of those peasants instead, as we are now going to be looking at a lot of units getting taken down. It looks like the town hall will still be up and operational after all of this time. Plenty of repairs going on. Those 3 peasants not getting finished off by that shockwave. Absolutely essential. Back across over here, what is a lone dreadlord doing? Why is this dreadlord away from the rest of its army? Not quite sure. There you go. Gonna go ahead and teleport finally back over. Meanwhile, guard towers showing up as well, doing a great job, and the guard towers, however, do not take damage from that carry-on swarm. We're going to be looking at the watchtowers, well, actually fighting back against those ghouls pretty effectively, dealing a large amount of damage, as the obsidian statue in the back now needs to heal up more units too. Alright, Dreadlord taking a lot of damage from those 2 ancient protectors again. That one obsidian statue, very low on hit points, as we see a Siphon Man, a Tauren Chieftain losing, and now Spellbreakers have surrounded it. Alright, Spellbreakers forcing the scroll of town portal from the Tauren Chieftain. Gonna go ahead and teleport back down across here, as the Dreadlord gonna go ahead and sleep. Alright, a shockwave ripping through some of those units again. Another sleep now being brought over. Wisps are not being called out to try and repair, and the Tree of Ages falls again. Dreadlord would have easily used a carry-on swarm to just sleep to take down all of those wisps, hence the reason why it did not back out. Alright, Dreadlord dodging that shockwave right there. Staff of Preservation saving the Alchemist. Scroll of Town Portal now being used, as the entire undead army pretty much sacrificed to take down that one Tree of Ages. Tree of Life being rebuilt again here and here. We're going to be going into the center. Thunder now with a much larger presence overall. He's the one still mining on multiple bases, but that starting location will be done here in just a moment. This peasant has a lot of work to do right now, just perhaps on auto repair, trying to save all of these buildings, as the raiders are going to be coming across here in just a moment. Alright, level 2 masonry upgrade units are now trying to make their way through. Goblin Shredder going to easily get ensnared. Shockwave rips through many of those buildings, but does not take any of them down. Alright, Scroll of Town Portal coming back across, as the Tauren Chieftain now is going to be backing away. Tauren Chieftain has level 2 endurance aura, has most likely reincarnation to be able to get back into the game, and that doesn't have a stomp. That shockwave, however, has been very effective overall. Double lumber mill all the way with a whole bunch of guard towers right behind it. The Tauren Chieftain's going to find himself in a bad spot if he tries to engage here, as now they're going to try and make it up here, and they're going to see, wait, where can we actually go? The Tauren Chieftain, shockwave trying to rip through some of those towers, gets in some damage, but it's going to take multiple shockwaves here in order for it to be effective, pretty much forcing a Scroll of Town Portal. Flame strike across multiple units. Well, talk about running from the flames and into danger. The flame strike forcing the raiders to try and get away, only to get within range of those guard towers. Alright, Acolytes, are they just going to try and constantly repair here? Haunted Goldmine off over here. Huntresses are going to try to hide off in the corner. The Abominations are there. Dreadlord, Carrion Swarm ripping through all of those units. Healing Spray, however, quickly counteracting much of that healing or that Carrion Swarm damage, as an Abomination gets entangled and pretty much shut down. Alright, one Entangle takes down an Abomination there. Raiders are now showing up to the party, as the undead army could be in trouble. Scroll of Town Portal now going to be landing off over here in just a moment. Blood Mage arriving to the party, and here we go. Tauren Chieftain does not get in a shockwave. There's Flame Strike. That's not working either, as all the units are still running around. Huntress is trying to head back away. Alchemist does not have a Scroll of Town Portal. Instead has a tiny Great Hall, and he could be trying to set up an expansion of his own. Can you give a shout out to my friend Corleone6? He's a big fan of yours. Yes, I think I just did. Alright, Abominations now making their way back out again. Goblin Zeppelin picking up some units, and it looks like they're going to try and do a bit of harassment, but that is not going to work here with those guard towers, and perhaps some Dragonhawk Riders added in as well. Alright, Dreadlord could be in some serious trouble. Gets a sleep off onto that Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove is now surrounded, being forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal, having been surrounded by 5 Abominations. Has to be absolutely scary. Alright, Goblin Zeppelin gonna try and drop off over here. Goblin Zeppelin has a whole bunch of Huntresses, and that is not gonna be effective in trying to clear out this expansion in the corner. All right, Archmage still making its way back through. Peon's now going to be shifting over. We're looking at the, a Great Hall off over here. Are we going to see a couple of watchtowers getting taken down? Perhaps. Multiple guard towers here causing lots of problems. The Tauren Chieftain has been, well, using shockwave after shockwave to try and stop all of this here. Meanwhile, the Tauren Chieftain now losing also a lot of precious mana as the Tauren Chieftain shifts and rotates back off to the north. Blizzard and Flamestrike looking to finish off many of these buildings as well. The watchtowers were strategically placed not next to each other so that only one AoE ability would affect them at a time. Coming back off to the north again, Tauren Chieftain gonna rotate up, perhaps try and take out this haunted gold mine. There is one Dragonhawk rider nearby, perhaps trying to get a shackle on anything as we're looking at, this Great Hall about to fall. So many battles taking place all across the map, so many scrolls of town portals, the only way to travel home, as the Huntress is now trying to put pressure onto this Black Citadel here. I do not believe that is going to work well. The army is just simply not going to be strong enough, as well we see a quick ensnare finishing off an obsidian statue that was trying to make its way out. All right, healing spray to try and save some of those units. Huntress is actually caught in a weird spot. Goblin Zeppelin right there, and for some reason not picking up his fellow allies. Back down here, Raiders are going to go ahead and dive on in to this location here, perhaps try and take down this haunted gold mine, but that is not working. Meanwhile, massive towers in position here, but the medium armor of the Spellbreakers gonna be more than enough to handle, and just constant battling left and right, where I believe Thunder and Michael end up getting the win. The Korean team taking out Lin Gao and Alice. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.